animal abuse problem on YouTube keeps getting worse. You might have come across the fake rescue channels where animals are put into dangerous situations on purpose and then rescued by their torturers for views and income. If you are not familiar with the problem, I've put the links to the channels exposing it in the description below. This is a very popular trend copied by many abusers based in Asia, mainly in Vietnam. But apart from that, there are channels that use a totally different technique to manipulate viewers and generate income without even applying staged rescues. Channels that have come up with a more sophisticated method of using cats as cash generators, at the cost of their well-being and very often, their lives. In this video we will focus on the person who is running 3 channels, first one called Love for Pets, the second one PetisLife and the third one, Paw TV. Since he is featuring the same cats on all the 3 channels, we will not differentiate between the channels here but focus on the content. At the very beginning, I would like to ask you to report all the 3 channels for animal abuse after you see this video. It is crucial to report using your computer, not your phone or tablet. I'm explaining why and showing a short tutorial in my other video. The link is in the upper right corner. That person named Farooq lives in Lahore, Pakistan. At first sight you may see nothing wrong in his videos. He feeds the cats and shelters mothers with newborn babies filming their everyday life. But when you take a closer look on the details you will be able to see the true colors of this man who only pretends to be a cat lover and who breeds cats and uses them for profit. But before you state that the cats are probably better off anyway in his backyard than they would be alone in the Pakistani streets, please watch this video carefully. We have analyzed thousands of videos on his channels and investigated many cases of his incompetence when taking care of cats and kittens. And we will show you examples of gross negligence which led to chronic diseases and even death of cats. We will also quote some comments left under his videos by the people who already discovered the truth. And finally, we will show you the examples of how he mistreated and murdered some particular cats. Right at the beginning, when reading the description of one of the channels, we can see that Farooq's main goal is to get 1 million subscribers. He also asks for subscription in every video. Constant asking for subscriptions in videos with sick or hungry animals is one detail that gives away many animal abusers. It becomes obvious that they only care about the income from YouTube, not about the animals. We are dealing here with a cat hoarding situation. Farooq gathers numerous cats and kittens that he claims to have rescued, but we have never seen any rescue on his channel. New cats keep appearing out of nowhere and wander around his premises while he films them. For example, he says that he receives phone calls and collects cats from people's houses, because, as he wrote, their owners can't keep them or are planning to abandon them. But he never showed us any footage documenting that. Do you believe that anyone who is planning to abandon their pet calls Farooq first and informs him about that? Because we don't. He probably collects those cats from a local shelter. He does not provide even minimal standards of nutrition, sanitation, or veterinary care. The cats, especially kittens, are dirty, hungry, always have diarrhea, due to heavy stress, various diseases and poor diet. They are extremely weak and emaciated. We will explain later on why they are so stressed and confused. Why does Farooq have so many cats? You may ask. It's because, apart from hoarding them, he does not spay or neuter them at all. He is inventing various stories to justify the fact that he is keeping males and females together. He pretends that he cannot afford to have them fixed, even though he receives donations from viewers. He even admitted it himself that he likes it when the cat mothers have new kittens. In addition, he lets female cats mate with any male cats that visit his yard, just to have more and more kittens. There is a handicapped, elderly cat named Hope, who is constantly having new babies. Interestingly, he sometimes calls her a rescued cat and some other time a stray cat in order to manipulate viewers and renounce responsibility for her. He claims to be taking each of them to the vet and constantly runs a fundraising for their veterinary care via PayPal. Nevertheless, kittens die one by one under his care after the supposed vet visit. We have never seen any video documenting a visit to a vet, any treatment applied to a cat, any meds or any medical care bills from him. He only watches them suffer and films them wander around his backyard, all covered in poop, and does not even clean them when they have diarrhea. Kittens are weak and dehydrated. As you can see, they can barely walk and they desperately need veterinary help, which they never receive. To distract viewers from the tragedy they are looking at, Farouk always emphasizes how beautiful the cats are, how happy they are and how much he loves them, pretending that they are all healthy and well cared for. For example, he says that the kitten Olaf is beautiful and interested in toys, while he is actually starving and he is so sick that he can barely walk. All in all, his intentional neglects make for the eventual death of many kittens that he's got under his care. There are also dozens of kittens that went missing. He usually raises the kittens till they are 2 or 3 months old, and then the kittens simply disappear and no one knows what really happens to them. There is no trace of them in any subsequent videos. You won't see any footage of them as grown cats. All in all, only a few kittens live to their adulthood under his care. He only keeps healthy adult females and males to reproduce. People keep asking Farouk questions about the missing cats in the comments, but often they get no response from him. Sometimes he admits some of them are dead, and sometimes he claims that the cats are sent to a shelter, but he never gave us the name of the shelter he is supposedly cooperating with. Here I need to say a bit more about the concept of giving animals to a shelter in Pakistan and explain why this is certainly a lie. Pakistan is a poor country with a huge unemployment rate where people live in poverty. Animal rights are not a priority there. They actually have no legal protection whatsoever. Animal care organizations are small and run by volunteers, and they have not enough space and funds to help thousands of animals in need. So what are the chances of giving a cat to a shelter in Pakistan? Extremely low. While Farouk claims to have given to the shelter about 50 cats and kittens only during 2020, when Pakistan was paralyzed by COVID-19 and the quarantine. He claims that there is plenty of space for them in the shelter, and that giving a cat to a shelter is a piece of cake. So you can imagine what he really does to all those cats. Sometimes he claims that the kittens got adopted or that they are going to get adopted soon. Nevertheless, he is not able to show any update on kittens in their forever homes. We have never seen any footage of adoption parents collecting a cat. He even claims that some of the cats are adopted by his relatives, but he still shows no updates. Interestingly, the kittens look malnourished and dirty, and they struggle with diseases at the moment of their supposed adoption, so you can ask yourselves a question. Who would adopt a kitten who is slowly dying? As we stated before, Pakistan is a poor country where thousands of homeless kittens wander in the streets and the adoption odds even for the healthy ones are extremely low. Not to mention the very sick ones. And here you can see one more proof that Farouk is telling lies. In one of the comments he claims that there is no animal shelter in his city, while you could easily locate the shelter in Lahore, Pakistan on a map. Farouk not only makes cats suffer physically, he also applies psychological violence against the cats that live with him and the cat families that he brings into his home. He likes to put on a show of feeding starving kittens together so that they fight for food. When he puts the bowl on the floor, they rush to eat, almost choke on chunks of meat or dry food. This reaction means they haven't eaten for some time, probably for a couple of days. A cat that receives food regularly eats slowly and does not snap up the food, because it feels safe and knows that it will get a meal again in due time. But in this case it's right on the contrary. These skinny kittens constantly meow asking for food, because they are starving. At the end of the show, he is often poking fun at kittens who desperately fight for food, because they have dirty faces or put their paws into the plate trying to get as much food as possible.
Look at your face. You're looking funny.
This man also likes to disturb the kittens when they finally get an opportunity to have a meal. He does not let them eat alone, but follows them with the camera and touches them, which makes them angry and irritated. You can see that the cats must feel that he is a threat to them because they try to run away and hide their food and they growl loudly. They not only have to fight for food between themselves, but also with Farouk. In this part you can see why the majority of cats are afraid of Farouk and his touch, and you can spot certain behaviors that are typical for cats in distress. He terrorizes them from the very first moments of life. He takes random kittens and brings them for the mother cats who already have their babies to feed. The kittens have to fight for the milk even though the chances are not even because bigger kittens are being put together with the newborns. It is not even known which cat is the real mother of which kittens because they are all mixed. The cats are scared of him to death. For example, this mother cat put in a small carrier with the whole family. They probably feel insecure due to the very fact that they were caught and confined in too little space. The mother does not accept his presence and his intrusive touch. This mother cat turns to the wall trying to hide her babies from Farouk.
Oh dear, you are scary.
He intimidates kittens even more when they are left without their mothers or put in boxes alone. Such a stranded kitten can only hiss and shake in fear when there is nobody around to protect them. And of course Farouk makes fun of them while they hiss and try to defend themselves. You can see it in their eyes that they don't trust him at all. But this is not everything. We have a lot more evidence of even worse things he is doing to the kittens. We will continue in part 2. Please don't forget to report his 3 channels for animal abuse so that they are taken down by YouTube. We cannot let him harm more animals. If you need a tutorial of how to report it, it's in my other video.